mean, and so you have testified on Capitol Hill in Congress. And I remember, Gerald Nadler, who was the chairman of, yeah, I see you smirk, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. And he just kind of poo pooed, this thing, said, there's no such thing as Antifa. Or you're sitting there and you hear the head, the director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, and he's asked about it. And he said, well, it's just a theory, it's just an ideology. But what you're describing is an organization that is a terrorist organization. And, after Hale, they had talked about a trans day of rage, but yet no one is taking this organization seriously, and no one is doing what is necessary to eradicate it. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to cohabitate with an organization that says that, either you accept our ways or we kill you. And to say that they're anti-fascists, well, they're the fascists in and of themselves and what they believe. So why is it? I mean, what has to happen for us to get the political savvy, I guess, to do what is right toward this organization? Because look, Andy, I got to tell you something. There are a lot of people that are not going to tolerate this very much longer. And you're going to see citizens that are going to protect themselves and protect their children, especially with the type of vile propaganda that you're talking about that's out there.
What needs to happen is for law enforcement and prosecutors to do their job and actually prosecute these violent extremists for their criminal activities. The state of Georgia is really at the forefront of that. They've taken a lot of very horrific negative attention in the media because of the fact that they've been willing, the attorney general as well as local prosecutors have been willing to charge far left violent extremist suspects in the Cop City movement with domestic terrorism, for example, and not granting bail for some of the ones that pose a significant risk to the public. These type of things, when applied consistently, will blunt the movement. The reason why they've been able to grow and able to carry out violence and chaos with impunity is the fact that they're not held to account for their criminal activities. Their epicenters of organizing are in places, like I mentioned earlier, like Portland and Seattle, where you have a compromised district attorney's office, and you have a city where leadership turns a blind eye because they're kind of all on the same side, or politicians are afraid of how the media will paint them as being too hard on racial justice protesters. That's the propaganda of the mainstream media. It's about law enforcement and prosecutors using the tools that they have to actually prosecute. Two, it's about, and this is an issue beyond beyond reach for a lot of us, but it's about Democrats recognizing how dangerous this movement is. When you empower street thugs, particularly those who are rather psychopathic and have, as part of their worldview, a desire to maim and kill the opposition, when you empower them, like, that might benefit you in the short run. Ultimately, it's going to bite you